Hi, my name is Tom Daly, and I'm a teacher education professor in San Diego, California. And I've taught nearly 40 classes in behavior modification and in the area of inclusion. Early on in my career, I did a balancing act. I covered the textbook while I scrambled to look for relevant handouts to supplement the textbook. And I floundered every time a student asked me a real-life question of a real-life situation. And it never failed. Every time one of my teacher education students asked me these 13 words, I was completely on the spot and had the class's undivided attention. And here are those 13 words. Professor Daly, if I have a disruptive student who does this or that, what do I do? At that moment, they wanted me to be their teacher. They didn't want me to dispense platitudes and be glib. They didn't want me to be a cheerleader, rah-rah, oh yeah, just do this and that. They wanted me to be their guide up the mountain. They wanted me to pull out a map and pull out a flashlight and show them where they're at and where they need to go in order to handle a disruptive student. And what I've done in my 7 Days to a Great Classroom is I've now created the map. And you, the instructor, well, you're the flashlight. And together, those two things will help students to find a practical way to deal with the issue of behavior problem students in their classroom. Now, I'm going to give you a sneak preview of the video in a second. But before that, let me tell you why I created the video. The assigned textbooks that I was using as the instructor, they seem to focus on knowledge acquisition, which is fine in and of itself. However, it didn't really prepare my teachers for the actual skill development they needed to handle disruptive students in the classroom. And the students that I've dealt with always had a burning question on their lips. Professor Daly, I know we're showing me how to teach students who will sit still and listen, but what do I do with students who won't sit still and listen? So the missing piece I saw was my teacher education program was hoping that the students would gain behavior management skills and strategies rather than that being a central theme of the teacher education department. And that's why I created the 7 Days to a Great Classroom. And it's truly plug and play. Simply by showing the video in 10-minute chunks each week, you can make sure that each one of your students really knows how to handle disruptive students in the classroom. Now, this makes my class much more interesting. So each week I show one 10-minute clip of the video, and afterwards we either have a classroom activity or we have a discussion about that one topic. So this way the students are actively engaged in their own skill development. That's how I use the video. And by the way, you don't have to invent discussion topics or activities. I can hand those to you because I've already have those created. Okay, so now here's a 2-minute clip on the 7 Days to a Great Classroom. My approach is child-centered lessons that are teacher-driven. Teacher-driven, that's the key. Child-centered is what sets you up. Teacher-driven is what makes it work. Now, let's talk about what happens as a result of this. There's more on-task time. The kids are processing more because they're hooked in, they're engaged. You have more control of the class because the kids are naturally wanting to do what you want them to do. You as an educator have less stress, and it helps you connect with all the reasons why you became an educator in the first place. The kids and the family at home are talking more about what's going on in school. What did you do today isn't an empty answer, I don't know, or we did nothing. Now they can say, hey, today we did this or we did that. So it helps with the home, child, and school communication. Learning disguised as fun, and that's one of our big tricks, because think about the things that you remember. As we said in the old days, if you want someone to remember something, tell a joke about it, tell a story about it, sing a song about it. Well, if you can disguise your learning as fun or games or other types of things, children will hook into it and they'll learn and it will go into their long-term memory. The first thing that we're going to be talking about, the What to Do When I'm Done poster. Very simple, very easy. It'll be the first thing, and that's something that'll take you 10 minutes to do. We'll show examples of the What to Do When I'm Done poster. We'll talk about the rationale for why to do a What to Do When I'm Done poster. In fact, for each technique, we do talk about the rationale. This way you know why you're doing it. This way your parents know why their children are doing that in their class, and your administrators know why you're doing it. Day 2 is peer tutoring, cross-age tutoring, taking older kids and younger kids, pairing them together, and it's a tremendous learning experience for both groups. Day 3, 4, and 5 is a triangle that surrounds the child. We're trying to unlock what is important to that child and get that child motivated and learning every day. And the triangle that surrounds that child is using journal topics, using walk and talk, and using interest inventories. And this is when we polled thousands of those teachers and principals and psychologists that read our books. These are the 3 things they said that helped them to zero in on the child, to change that child and bring them into the classroom environment where they were engaged and happy, and plus it made their job more fun too. Okay, thanks for watching the video clip. So in my book, The ADHD Solution, How to Turn Any Disruptive Child into Your Best Student, and 7 Days to a Great Classroom, how does that fit into what you're doing? It's not designed to replace, to supplant your textbook, but it's a supplement to use along with it. Now, what it does is it helps to fill in that part of the education puzzle. How do you effectively teach students who are unpredictable and often disruptive? Now, the information that I present, besides it being easily digestible, I give examples kindergarten through 12th grade, so it'll be applicable to all the students that you are working with. Yeah, and I do make it a point, on top of that, to be up to date on the latest research on ADHD, now often being called executive functioning disorder. I've attended many international, national seminars, both as a speaker and also as a participant, to make sure the information that you have is relevant and to the point. Now here's the twist. I combine that information with my 15 years experience working in the field so that every technique that I give to teachers or those becoming teachers are very relevant, succinct, and always work. Now when you use the 7 Days to a Great Classroom, 10 minutes per week, 1 subject per week, you're going to hear great student comments. You're going to hear students saying things like, wow, that sounds great, or I can't wait to try that when I do my student teaching. And a lot of times when the students are saying things like, yes, you know what, I can do that, that's why I got into teacher education, and probably you too. So please go to the website, which is the TomDalyOnline.com, and you can learn what type of program we have set up so that we can help you to work with your students in order to use this information to see if it's right for you. Or you can email me at tdaily2@hotmail.com. Thank you very much for your time.